Hey everybody, today I have a very special guest with me, Miss Tanya Welch. She leads our Celebrate Recovery program here at Movement City Church. Tanya, welcome.
Hi, how are you?
Doing good. I'm so excited to have you in here. I can't say it enough. One of my goals with this podcast was I just wanted to highlight ministries that people don't even know, or people that our church doesn't even know. And while I know you and a lot of people do, there's a lot of people that haven't met you yet. Right. So tell us quickly a little bit about yourself. How did you come to Movement City Church?
So I honestly started coming to Movement City Church from my cousin inviting me here.
Really?
And so him and his wife come here.
How long ago was that?
2018.
Okay.
So from the first day I started, I haven't left because I felt welcome from the first time I was here.
Let's go.
And so just Pastor Doris was probably the first one I really got to know when I first started coming here. Between Pastor Doris and Pastor Marcus, they were the main two that
they just connected you and pulled you right in.
They connected me, and Pastor Doris sat down and talked with me for a little bit, and she said, "Hey, I think you need to go to Celebrate Recovery." And I was like, I probably do.
Now, tell everyone first what Celebrate Recovery is.
So Celebrate Recovery is a 12-step biblical-based recovery group. So I know a lot of people, when they think of recovery, they think of drugs and alcohol.
Right.
It's way beyond that.
It's a lot more than just those things.
It's a lot more. So there are all kind of addictions that people wouldn't consider addictions.
I've heard of people that, whether it's pornography, whether it's gambling, whether it's anger, all of those are controlling issues in their life that they can't move past.
Mm-hmm. So if it takes over your body, then it's an addiction, is how I feel. And so I've had people, we even have some that's like a hair addiction, like you eat the hair off of your head addictions.
Wow.
So there's all kind of addictions that people wouldn't really realize that are addictions.
Yeah.
And so, like, just for me, I go for, I would say, life issues, just in general, life issues. Mm-hmm. And so I know before I started this program and just actually really getting involved with the church, I had a whole lot of anger.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
I for real did not know that. And I never would have guessed in a million years. I don't like to prep my guests and like know the questions ahead of time because I like to be surprised. And this might be the most surprising thing I've heard with anybody I've talked to on here. Really?
Oh, yes, sir. It was bad. When my anger would come out, I wouldn't try to hold it back. So
how would it express? Like all people you would blurt out on, or was it mostly those you were closest to?
I might have been aiming for one, but at the end, it might have been everybody in the room that experienced it.
Wow. And that's why you ultimately got into Celebrate Recovery?
Yes, but that and then just family dysfunction.
Yeah. How has Celebrate Recovery transformed your life?
So, like, I've been through a lot of just, I would say I've dealt with the physical abuse, the mental abuse, the emotional abuse in my life, and just from guys, and just at one point my dad. And so just to know that being in the program, like, just to know where I was then, and like I at one point I felt as though God couldn't have been there in my life and let me endure that.
Wow.
And so I've just being in Celebrate Recovery and just getting around real friends and having those real connections has just been a complete turnaround in my life. And just to know that I know some people still, they'll never see my growth because they don't want to see it. They want to stay in my past. And so I can leave them there, is what this has helped me to realize, that it doesn't matter if it's family or not. if you're not here to help me spiritually grow, then I don't.
And that's a hard spot to get to.
It's hard,
especially with people who are close.
Yes, it's
that's
very hard.
Really difficult.
And so, like, just I don't know. I was talking to Pastor Doris Monday, and we were having just a conversation, and I was like, if I sit there and listen to what he said and she said, I will never be at a place to where I can hear what he says.
Come on.
Our Father says.
Yeah.
So I can't worry about what people say anymore or how they feel about me.
Mm-hmm. What would you say to someone, because I know a lot of people, they've got some kind of hang up in life, and they say, I'm going to work on it myself. I can do it myself. I'm strong enough. And I've talked to several people who've told me that. Mm-hmm. What would you say to those people?
That is our very first lesson.
Really?
Is denial.
Really?
Denial is the very first lesson, and you have to admit that you are powerless. And that you can't do it on your own. There's no way you're going to do it on your own. I can say I'm going to do it on my own every day, but I'm going to fall every day trying to do it on my own. If I don't lean into God, there's no way.
Now tell me, how does Celebrate Recovery work? Is this one where once you're in it, you're in it indefinitely, ideally, or is it one like you graduate and now like I'm good, or how does that work?
So I guess it's different for everybody. Like some people, they feel as though that, I recovered from that, so I'm good. And then for some of us, this, like for me, I can say this would be a lifetime for me.
Yeah.
Just because.
You're not in it for 12 weeks.
No, I'm not in it. I've already been in it since 2018.
Wow.
So this is a lifetime for me because I know God has a calling on my life. And the ladies that I have I've seen where all of them have started from to where they are now. And God has a plan in all of their lives too.
Amen.
And so it's just now their eyes are getting opened up to see that, okay, God does love me. Like we've been so broken for so long, we feel as though nobody could love us the way that we should be loved.
Now you mentioned your ladies group, so the men and women, they're in different groups.
So we meet on Monday nights, and so our first hour we meet would be everybody's together.
Okay.
And then the second hour we split up, and so the men will be by themselves and the women will be by themselves.
Gotcha. And how does this work? Because I've only seen movies, and you see like everyone sitting in a circle, and everyone, it's basically like, hi, so and so, my name's so and so, and I'm a alcoholic, and everybody waves to them. Like, is that how this goes, or what does it look like?
So none of us are gonna identify as an alcoholic because our identity is not in what brought us here. Our identity is in Christ, first of all.
Oh, say that again. Say that again. Hey, rewind. Go back 10 seconds. But say it again, because you need to hear it, not just her saying it, but over and over.
But our identity is not what brought us to recovery. Our identity is found in Christ.
Let's go.
So how we introduce ourselves is, so I would say, I'm Tanya. I'm a grateful believer in Jesus Christ who struggles with or is in recovery for anger.
Wow.
So we're not here for,
yeah,
because I think that's how other recovery groups might do.
Is it pretty tough that first week for people? Because I mean, there's shame, there's embarrassment, those things. No one wants to be in that spot, normally. I don't think anyone woke up and said, "Ooh, I want to be a part of a recovery group today." Is it a lot of, it gets to the person's turn and it gets quiet for a long time, or how does that work?
So I know I will tell them, like, if they don't want to answer at the time, or if they don't want to respond, they just want to get a feel of it, I won't make them do it. But a lot of them here lately is once they see how it's going, they'll open up. It might be slow, but they'll open up. Like we have a lot that come in and just say, well, I'm here to support such and such. Like, you might be here to support your friend or maybe even your spouse. And so what I've learned since being in there is, you say you're here to support them, but in the end, with you supporting them, it's caused some kind of hurt or struggle within you because you're trying to support somebody that already has like an addiction or some kind of hang up or habit. And so then that's when they realize, okay, I'm here to support him, but now I realize, I got a whole lot of anger because of what they've been doing.
Yeah. You know, it amazes me the commitment level of the people that are involved. You know, I think about when COVID hit and, you know, everything shut down and the Celebrate Recovery group was like, we have to meet. Like, if we don't meet, this is not good. And you guys literally met in the parking lot, and it was the summer, like, and you were still meeting in the parking lot because we weren't allowed. And finally, we were like, okay, we got to move you guys inside because you'll be dead. It's so hot. But like the commitment of it's scalding hot, and you're sitting outside in a parking lot because you're so committed to this.
And it was especially during COVID, so that's when more people are like isolating themselves because we couldn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
And so
the problems were only getting worse.
Yeah, they were getting worse. And so we had people reaching out on like the website still and asking were we meeting because nobody else was meeting.
Wow.
And so I think that's when
it grew during COVID.
It grew during COVID. And so that's when we went to Pastor Darius and Pastor Doris about, hey, it's something we have to get it going back.
Yeah.
Because we have too many people reaching out.
Yeah.
And so we don't want anything to happen to these people because they can't find some kind of group to go to.
If someone wants to join, what do they got to do?
They can just call me.
Just call you?
Just call me. Or they can get on the website.
Okay. On the church website?
On the church website and go to the planning center.
So go to movement.city/groups and then go to support groups. Click on Celebrate Recovery, and we'll throw a link for everyone. We'll put that link as well right below us. But movement.city/groups, click on support groups, and then Celebrate Recovery is right there.
And my number's there, so they can call me.
Okay.
I'll answer the phone if I'm not at work.
Can they just show up?
They could just show up. You don't have to.
So you don't even have to sign up. You could just come Monday. 7 p.m. And where in the church does it meet?
We're in the small auditorium.
Okay, so most people, do they park in the back?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so park behind the church, come through. There's a sign that says Movement City Espanol.
Yes.
Come through there. I promise it's in English, though, okay? You're not going to be like, oh, no, I'm in the wrong spot. Come through that door, and you'll be right there in that first room on the right.
Yes.
Tanya, thank you so much. Thank you for being the movement that transforms our city one life at a time. And you are helping other people move closer to Jesus and become more and more like Jesus. And I can't thank you enough. And, you know, when I think about what does Jesus look like, I see a lot of Jesus in you. And the way you love people and the joy that you have, which is why it's so hard for me to see that you ever struggled with anger, because I'm like, you're the most joyful person I know. All I've ever seen is a big, huge grin. And so thank you for coming. Thank you for sharing. And thank you for pouring into people.
Thank you.
Tanya Welch, everybody.